So today I joined a Discord server. I do a lot of research on different games that I might cover in the future, and I'm someone who covers old school Dungeons and Dragons, and I like to check out what's going on around the OSR and whatnot. So I joined a Discord server ran by the creator of Barrows and Borderlands. I joined it, and I was being welcomed. I was responding to people in a very courteous way that were welcoming me to the Discord server that the creator of that game runs. And as I'm, responding to people, things are going well. Suddenly, I find myself booted off of the Discord server for Barrows and Borderlands. It's his business. It is that creator's business. If he does not want me on his Discord server, I could understand, that's just his feeling or whatever. But yes, the creator of Barrows and Borderlands booted me off his Discord server. I'm not sure exactly why they accepted me. You got to go through a process of answering questions. They accepted me onto the server. I'm being greeted. It's a very courteous greeting, and I'm being very courteous in my responses. And then I found myself booted off of the server. I know there are some people, I guess, on the server I know that are not my biggest fans, people that probably don't like me, and I'm not really sure why I was booted off the server, and I'm not going to make any accusations as to why. But there is something that follows me around, a very unprofessional situation I went through with some other content creators, especially in the YouTube space. I can understand how the audience might want to tell a lie or do whatever, but there is a bit of professionalism I expect from my fellow content creators on some level, regardless of what they think of my opinions about tabletop role-playing games. So some time ago, there was an event called Guac, and at the time, somebody put out an image of a receipt, not an actual receipt, an image. And the image of a so-called receipt was a receipt showing me charge somebody money as it relates to the Guac event, this tabletop role-playing game event. Now, it's an image. It's not an actual receipt. And with that image came a lot of false accusations towards me. Okay, I can understand maybe some people in the audience thinking what they're going to think. But then there was some content creators, especially much bigger, had bigger followings than I have. And instead of coming to me and asking me in some professional way about the image that was not a receipt, asking me if this was real, instead of them coming to me and asking me about this, some of these content creators decided to go public and talk about the image not as an image, talk about it as a real receipt without telling the truth that it was an image, not an actual receipt, and then make major accusations against me based on their representation of the image being an actual receipt. It was one of the most unprofessional things I've ever encountered. And I'm not going to name the YouTuber full name or say their YouTube channel or ask anybody to target anybody. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say there are some people that are well known, and especially around the old school Dungeons and Dragons community online here, content creators, YouTubers, especially one that made a major or played on a major accusation against me as if it were true, and talked about this image as if it were a real receipt and not an image of a receipt. Now, I have haters out there people, the kinds of people that would make an image up of a fake receipt and alter things and do all kinds of things. And so there's a good chance, I mean, something like that happened. I'm going to tell you, I didn't charge anybody for any Guac event. But to this day, I still have people act like I really did something. Like that image was an actual receipt. They act like it's real evidence that I did something, but it's an image, not a receipt. And I'm very disappointed at the unprofessional approach some content creators took. Instead of coming to me and asking me, hey, there's an image, it's not an actual receipt, what do you got to say about it? Instead of asking me about it, making these accusations against me and presenting the image as an actual receipt verbally, instead of saying what it really was. An image, not an actual receipt. I hope that's not the reason I was booted from Barrows and Borderlands, the Discord server ran by the guy who created that game. I hope that's not the reason, because I would tell that guy right away. That's a very unprofessional reason to get rid of me off your Discord server. I have not done anything. All it was an image, and it proves nothing. Period. I never came out and said, yeah, that's me. I came out and said, that's not me, because it's not me, and it was an image and not a real receipt. Again, I've had people since keep acting, behaving as if it was an actual receipt and as if I'm really guilty of something. The person who sent this image to people suddenly vanished. They were asking that person to follow through, do something, report this guy. Well, instead of reporting me, because I did nothing wrong, the person who sent the image took off. Vanished. It just went away. And so nothing was done. I never got in any trouble. No reports came my way because I didn't do anything. I didn't charge anybody for any event, not the Guac event, no event at all. I don't charge people to game or for whatever reason they were saying it was. I don't do that. Not my gimmick. So I want to tell you and anyone else listening that, to be clear, if you hear this rumor that I had tried to charge somebody for some Guac event that happened, a tabletop role-playing game event online, if you hear rumors that I tried to, in some nasty way, charge somebody money, which it was a ridiculous amount of money, but if you hear this rumor, I want to tell you, I'm telling you, it didn't happen. I didn't do it. It's completely fake. Not true. And I'm disappointed. I don't care how people feel about me. I still expect that if you're a content creator, that there's some professional level that you treat this on, and that if you get an image of a receipt that's not a real receipt, you don't go out there and make major accusations against other content creators. I expect a level of professionalism where you should be coming here. I think it's an absolute disgrace. There was a guy who's now at 10K subs around the old school Dungeons and Dragons community that went ahead and made a major accusation, not even on his own streaming stuff, but on somebody else's stream, and I get to see the clip of it. And to me, it's just unprofessional and nasty, and it's reputation destruction, it's character assassination. And I don't get it. I'm a smaller YouTuber. I don't get the purpose of it. I don't get why that was done. But then his audience had a seal clapping, gleeful happiness over the idea that I was done for. I was destroyed. And this rumor, this lie, has continued to spread. And I find myself pushed away from certain communities and certain people and treated a certain way based on something I've never done and has never been proven. There's no real receipt. I was never reported for anything. Nothing came of it. Completely innocent. So I don't know why I was booted from the Barrows and Borderlands. Again, you have to, when you join that server, you have to fill out a questionnaire thing. They let me in pretty much right away. They were doing polite greetings with me, and then on that, for some reason, I was removed off of that Discord server, and the person responsible for that server is the guy who created the game. So I don't know why he removed me. I've never encountered the guy. I've had no crosswords with him. I wanted to find out about his game. I'm an old school D&D guy. I wanted to find out about his game and ask him questions, and maybe, you never know. Maybe play it, maybe run something. I thought I could do that, and I thought regardless if there's people on the server that don't like me or not, I'm not going to cause drama. I bring a professional side with me as a YouTuber and content creator. I don't drag my drama around. I understand I'm going to, we're in the same circle. I'm going to encounter some people that don't like me. I expect that we can all behave as adults, right? Even if we're on the server together. But I want to make sure that it's clear. I charged nobody for no Guac tabletop role-playing event online. Nothing. Never happened. There's no real receipt. It was an image. And the person who gave the image over followed through on nothing. They took off. Just vanished out of nowhere. And so I've been going around this sort of, this thing on my head as if I've done something wrong to people, and I've done nothing wrong. No one has been wronged by me. I would never do something like that. I'd never think to do something like that to somebody. There you go. There's my statement.